What's up, everyone? This is Derek from MocoMade, and in this video we're going to go over the basics of setting up a Tiltify campaign and some of the basics of getting that campaign underway with rewards, milestones, overlays, joining a team, etc. So I'm going to work back and forth between our MocoMade account, which has a whole bunch of stuff going on because we fundraise under that account, and my alt account, which is brand new and fresh, so I could show you how to set something up since I'm already set up on MocoMade. So the first things first, you're going to go to Tiltify, and the easiest way to sign in is to just connect it directly to Twitch. You're going to be, as a content creator, streaming through Twitch anyway, so it's pretty easy to just log in, and you'll get here, which is your hub. And from your hub, you can see your campaigns, teams, auctions, messages, support, etc. You can see teams that you're involved in. You can see I'm on Team Moco Loco. More on that later. You can see your total raised and stuff like that. So quickly, we're going to start a campaign, show you how to do that, and circle back because there's some changes that have happened. And I don't know if there's a timeline to fix these issues, but people are having a hard time joining teams now, thanks to this new update. So we'll circle back on, we'll make a campaign, and then we'll circle back on the kind of not intuitive way that you have to do to go through to join a team now. So first things first, we're going to create a campaign. And this is the new thing. It's kind of it prompts you with some questions if you are looking for some things like ChatGPT or some kind of like AI integration for writing up a campaign. It will help you with that. So it's asking you if you have a charity in mind. I'm going to say yes because we fundraise for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. In this case, you'll see some bigger events here. These are like the big events, ones that are known and raise millions of dollars. I'm going to click St. Jude Play Live because that is what we're currently setting up a campaign for. You don't have to fundraise under a big event in this case. Here's where they'll help you write a story if you give a description for your. This is like the AI part. You don't have to answer this. You don't have to put anything here. You can hit the little blue button. You can see I skipped it. This is the part that doesn't work anymore, and why I'll circle back and explain some other stuff later. And I've spoken to Tiltify support about this, and they didn't really give me an answer as to a resolution on this. So our campaign is going Moco Loco for St. Jude. Normally in the past, and when I mean in the past, I mean as of last week, this worked just fine. But now you can see like team campaigns are not coming up here. And it's a problem. It happened midday last week. That morning I had guided some people to joining our team, and that afternoon everybody was having a hard time because my instruction didn't work anymore. So we'll come back to this. For now I'm going to skip it. Now here you can get some help, building your campaign. Quite frankly, I'm not a big fan of this new setup. Beyond just it breaking things, I don't think a lot of this is necessary. And I'm going to just hit quick start. It's going to ask you if you're going to fundraise online, in person, or both, and who you're fundraising for, and then how you will connect with donors, which for a lot of us here and for most of us here, that's live streaming. This is like allow other fundraisers. It's almost kind of like a pseudo team. I'm gonna write no because we're already part of a team, and then you get to like that you're gonna name your campaign. This is a demo. I'm gonna leave the description because I don't need to really change that at this point in time. And then you got a goal, and we'll talk more about goal setting on our session, but you want to set goals that are difficult, but that you can achieve, And once you set a goal with Tiltify and publish your campaign and receive donos, you can't lower the goal. You can increase the goal if you meet the goal, but you can't lower the goal. So keep that in mind. Once you publish and receive donations, you can't just you can't unpublish the campaign, and you can't revert goals. So at this point in time, when you hit save draft, it's not public yet, so you don't have to like worry that this is live and people are going to see it. You are basically starting an unpublished campaign, and that's what you're going to see now. So now I'm here, and I have a little alert here. This is because the event that I joined, which was St. Jude Play Live, requires a registration. And the reason they require registration is because if you raise a certain amount of money during the Play Live challenge season, you get rewards from St. Jude for doing so. So they asked you to register basically your name and address so that they don't have to ask for that later. So don't mind that. That's not a big deal. And then once you this campaign here, this button here, publish, I think it's actually going to make me complete the registration in order to publish, which is fine. In fact, let me just do that real fast so that I can actually publish the campaign and you can see it. So just give me a second here. I'm just gonna turn the screen off just to make it easier, and because we don't dox ourselves on the internet, or at least we try our best not to. My address, that's correct. Save changes. Okay, I'm going to turn the screen back on. Now you can see that that's gone, and now I can publish the campaign. So everything else is good to go here. So once you're in here, this is like the back end of Tiltify. It's where you can see everything that you need to do to create a campaign, to manage your campaign, to customize it to your liking, to see donations, incentives, etc., and everything else. So if you go here, actually, first thing is under the overview, you get a QR code which you'll download. That'll directly anyone who scans that QR code will take you directly to donating to your campaign. You can copy your campaign link, or you can copy your donate link. The difference between a campaign and a donation link is campaign link will be your screen that shows kind of everything. For example, if I go here and I just say going Moco Loco for St. Jude, I'm just searching our campaign because it'll be easier to find that way. This is the screen that is your campaign link. So if I click on any one of our friends' links here, this is what your campaign will look like. It looks like this. It'll show some of the rewards. It'll show if you have your running donations or your stream if you put it here, and all of that. Whereas the donate link will look like this. Directly like select your rewards and check out. So depending on who you're kind of promoting this to, depends on, will determine which one I feel like you should use, generally speaking. Like, for example, what I mean by that is when we're fundraising for St. Jude, like we're preparing to do now, and we're doing both. Like, we're fundraising online, and we're fundraising and trying to get our own network on board. People from outside of Twitch don't know what Twitch is. They don't really know what Tiltify is. But they do want to support what you're doing. So you just give them that link and to donate. They're not interested in rewards, milestones, etc. The easiest thing to do to get people that don't otherwise know is to send them that link and get on board. And then, for people who are aware, they kind of want to see the campaign. They want to see the things that are going on. They want to see how close you are to your goals, etc. So think about it that way. Like, is the person you're promoting your fundraiser to, are they someone who is within your network that genuinely wants to see all the things going on, or are they someone who just knows what you're up to, loves the cause, and wants to support in easiest way possible for them. So if we go to setup, you can change the name, you can change the goal, and I can change this goal to anything right now because this isn't live. You can add a donation message, so a personalized message to your donors when they message. Again, I can delete this campaign because it's never been live. If I were to publish this and get a donation, I wouldn't be able to delete this campaign. But as long as I publish and I don't receive any donations, I can unpublish and then delete the campaign. Oh, I guess I made some changes there. There's a schedule. I don't really use this because our schedule really is pretty consistent. We're live every day during the campaign. There's not a huge need for us to use this schedule. You can get it. You can add updates here to the campaign for people to see. There's a Discord bot, which just kind of tells you that you're live. And then this is where you'll see like what's going on. Like you can see if you wanted to check that you were signed up correctly for the fundraiser, the event, and the team that you want to be on. This information tab is what would do that for you. Branding. This is actually this is brand new. Everything here has been developed in the last year, and I know this because last year when we were fundraising for St. Jude, we had an hour left on our auction, the most important hour of the auction, and Tiltify shut down to do this update, which they called their largest update ever in the 7 years that they've been doing this. So we knew all too well about this update. Here you can customize everything, though, about the way your stuff looks. Like for brand, you can change your primary color. And you can see all of the different things that change when you do that. You can use a hex code as well. And I'm just kind of moving it around so you can see that it's changing. Which is really cool. You can change the font. You can change the secondary font. All of that. Really cool. It really does personalize your campaigns and makes them look different than just what was stock. And that was all you did have before, was what was stock. And through all of these other things, you can add and remove things that you want to see. Now, everybody generally has amount raised and their fundraising goal. The distance, like you have the option to do fitness or health-related goals, and that's where this distance, time, and step progress comes in. I'm turning them off to show you that they remove. Featured media, that would be like if you integrate your Twitch stream. Rewards are like things that people can check out with. Polls, obviously straightforward. Targets, you can have everything here. Even the newer feature was like the auction house, everything. Really, really cool to have all of this now in one place and have it all be able to be customized in what you want to see. And you can see all of those different things here. And you can set that up how you see fit for your campaign. Social links, you can connect your socials. Any of these that you want to connect. Generally speaking, we usually just connect our Twitch. Overlays, this is an important one. One of the key things that people subconsciously realize by being a viewer on Twitch is when they see that bar at the top of your stream, they know you're fundraising for a good cause. So it's really important to have the overlay. And there's different ways to do the overlay. And I don't need to get into all the details. You kind of just click around here and it'll start to make sense to you. But this bar here at the top, when you see this bar, you know that someone's using Tiltify and they're fundraising for a good cause. And it's really important to have that at the top. And you can change this in a bunch of different ways as well. It's set here to 1920, which is 1920 by 1080p. So like if you're not streaming at 1920 by 1080, you might need to adjust this width so that the overlay fits your stream correctly. But just keep that in mind. You got font color, background, progress bar, all this stuff can be changed and customized to you. And you can change the font, everything like that. You can show alerts over a certain amount, everything like that. So you have the bar, you have the QR code. You have the alert box, which is down here, right here, and I'm just kind of moving things around to show you, which you can customize with a sound, with a GIF, or a sticker. You can change the background and all of that, and then an event list, which shows, generally speaking, like the last 4 donations or so. You don't need all of these. We don't always use all of them. It depends on what you're doing, because this can kind of be a lot on the screen as well. You kind of got to play with that and figure out what's best for you. But you can set all this stuff. You can move it all around, and you can do a test alert. Like if I put in here $5, there. It's going to show you what everything looks like. So you don't have to like figure this out or see this live for the first time. And now it shows how the bar looks moving up. It shows the top donation over here. This is the last donations, and then you saw the test come through with an alert here. So the other thing is, let me get this situated. The other thing is to add this to your stream. Once you have it set up, to add this to your stream, you copy this overlay link and you'll add it to your OBS as a browser source. You add it to OBS. You put this copied link in the browser source, and then boom, you have your overlay. And like, again, I can't stress how important this overlay is, because for the most part, when people see this, it's understood that fundraising is going on. And you can create a whole bunch of different layouts here as well. You don't have to create one overlay, because a lot of people are doing a lot of different things or streams and different kind of content when they're raising money. So you can create like layout 1, and this makes sense for your crafting stream. But then you can go back to your overlays and create a new one, and this could be your gaming overlay, depending on how you want it to look for when you're gaming. So you can create a whole bunch of different ones that make sense for you. Incentives. This is a big thing, and a lot. You don't need to use all of these, but the two that I generally feel like are a must are milestones and rewards. Milestones are like key spots on your so you have your goal for the campaign, right? Let's say it's $500. Your milestones are things like points that you're trying to hit along the way, and generally speaking, that will unlock an incentive. A special stream, a giveaway, a sticker pack, something of the sort, or like maybe another stream for the campaign or something like that. It's always important to have milestones. So like, let me just call this milestone 1, and I'm going to call it at, because what I'd say the campaign was at, I think I put the campaign at $100. So let me put this at $25, and I'm going to create another one at $50 just so you could see the milestones. So we have the milestones here now. They're not active. They don't start active. So I'm going to go ahead and activate them so that you'll be able to see them. And now I'm actually going to go publish the campaign so you can see this. Okay, so my campaign is published now. You can view your campaign now, and when I view my campaign, there's my milestones. So my goal is 100, but at 25, you get this. At 50, you unlock that. Milestones are essential. They help push forward. And the closer you get to a milestone, the more likely someone else is going to be to come in and push towards that milestone. So rewards are just as important, in my opinion. Now, a lot of the fundraisers, they will have things like this. St. Jude gives you some rewards, and this is to kind of show people where the money's going. You don't have to use theirs, and we have so many for our campaign that we don't, generally speaking, don't use theirs. We'll tell people we'll remind people of what their money, goes to and what it can go to, but we won't have these rewards active. But I'm going to activate them because it will show you how it works on the front end side for your event. So I'm going to activate just like a few of these, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a reward. So reward 1, I'm going to call it like maybe $50. Test. I'm just filling some stuff out. You can also add some restrictions here. So it could be like a physical item, which I know might sound crazy, but you can put a limit on the quantity. So like if it requires shipping, well, that's a physical item. It could be time restricted. There could be size options, color options, and a maximum allowed. So you could set all sorts of things and a quantity, obviously, here. So when you save the changes, and this is why this is important. So if you're doing a whole bunch of streams, and the streams are different, like for us, we're doing 10 days, and all 10 days are different programming. So it's important for us to have a whole bunch of rewards set up beforehand, because we don't want to be setting up the night before, but they don't have to be active. So on each day that we have an event, what I actually do for an event like ours where we're doing so many is I do time restricted. And if I know that we're doing a certain event on a certain day, well, I set that reward to be active for that day of our programming. But you don't have to do it that way as well. Like because that's just because we have a lot of rewards. So it's easy for me to set them up the week going in, and then be able to just not have to worry that did I set the right ones live? Did I set the wrong ones live? I know that I've said that these go for that day. But you can come in here and have a whole bunch of rewards, and if some are for gaming and some are for arting or what have you, whatever content you may be doing, you turn off the ones that are for gaming when you're arting. You turn on the ones that you need. So you can turn them on and off as you need. And the reason rewards are so great is if we go back here and go back to viewing our campaign, when you donate, you're actually like checking out now with things. So someone might not know what they want to give, but if they realize, oh, well, maybe I was going to give $30, but I want this, and now they're donating $50, putting something in their cart, and we're all used to shopping online, and so now it's so streamlined, so easy to do this. And then obviously I'm not going to go further from here, but you can see you can donate more than that. Even though you checked out with the reward, you can donate more than that, and stuff like that. One thing I do want to point out while I'm in this screen that's really important to hit home with your community. If someone is going to donate $250 or more, then that's eligible for a donation match. And when basically what that means is when you do a donation match, you can, I don't know how far I can get in this screen before it shows too much information. But let me turn this off for 1 second. Just make sure I don't do anything like that. Okay, I can show you this screen, which is what I wanted to show you. So once you're at 250 or more, you can do a donation match. And donation matching is so amazing for boosting campaigns, because now every dollar is $2, every $10 is $20, and you can set a donation match to be like an hour because you really want to push home, like maybe we're on a final push to hitting a goal and you really want to drive donations. Or you could set it to 5 days where it's going for the duration of your whole event, like and that maybe it gets hit before that, but it's there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And it is amazing what dono matching can do. And it is one of the strong points of Tiltify, truly. It used to be $500 minimum for donation matching, but starting last year, they moved that minimum to $250, which is a lot more affordable. So I definitely urge you that if you're fundraising and people are donating in that amount, to urge them to dono match. Now, the one thing that happens when you dono match is you cannot check out with a reward. So if I go back here, I can't check out with this reward and do a dono match. So that is one thing that is like a bit cumbersome to handle. But the thing is and the way we've always handled it is, we always urge people to dono match if they're going to dono that amount or donate that amount. But we'll honor any of the rewards. You know what I mean? If you're gonna donate that amount, we'll make sure anything that you wanted, that fits that reward or that budget in with what you're donor matching, will get fulfilled. The other thing with a dono match that you can let people know, and especially when you're pushing people to do so, is it doesn't have to be well, if it's not matched, it doesn't get donated situation. You can and most people, at least in our community, do donate the money anyway. Now that so a lot of people might hesitate to do that because they want their money donated, but you can check out and you can remind people that you can set it that way, where the money will be donated either way. Okay, so let me go back to this is back to my page, back to the incentives. The other things you can do are polls. Obviously, and people can donate to the polls. Like last year, we had a running poll through the duration of our event to shave or save my beard. And any point, people could donate to do so. You can donate to the side of a poll and still check out with rewards. Targets are more like a time-based thing. So, like, if you're trying to do something like quickly or maybe on a certain day of programming, that's what a target would be. For example, let's say on one of our days, if we hit a certain amount raised on the day, a special giveaway unlocks. That would be the point of a target, is that it's limited, that it's time sensitive, and that once it's gone, it's gone. So targets can be, it's not something I've used before. However, it can be good for time sensitive goals that you have in mind. The only other thing to see here about setting up, so this, you can actually download your report of all your donations, and your donors. One of the other things here, this donations, so I'm back in the overview. I'm back and donations plus. So this is a live feed of all your donations. So this is a screen that you might want to have up while you're fundraising, because you might miss an alert. Things get crazy, especially at any time, but especially during charity streams. You might miss an alert. You might not see it in your feed. This screen right here will make sure that you don't miss donations. And then this other donations page is if you need to go back for whatever reason to check what people checked out with, like rewards that you might owe from previous streams, stuff like that. You can go back here and see all the data, and you can even download the report to an Excel doc. The one other thing that is here is there are the distance goals, the fitness goals. You can do kilometers or miles. You can do a whole bunch of different workouts, distance, steps, time. This is pretty new. This was, I believe, as of last year. That's a basic overview, truly, of how to set all of this up. One thing I want to go over, and I want to circle back to it because I mentioned it at the beginning. Joining a team is amazing for community building and for rallying people to the cause. And I recommend that if you're going to fundraise, to try to create your own team, find a team that is fundraising for it, join a team. It just is different when you have a whole bunch of people contributing to the same cause that are passionate about the same thing. and it rallies with people in ways that nothing else does on Twitch when you're doing those kinds of things that kind of good for people. But it's broken right now, and it's extremely frustrating. So I want to circle back to how to join a team right now, because it's annoying. So I'm gonna go back to my hub. So back here in the top right, my hub. So if you're joining a team, you will get an invite to that team. Generally speaking, the team owner has a link. They'll give you the link, and once you click that link, you join to accept the team. And I can show you that from the Moco Made screen once we go to that screen. I'm already on a team, so once you accept that invite, actually, hold on, real quick. Before I do that, I need to unpublish this campaign because I'm not fundraising under this account. So I'm going to go ahead and unpublish this campaign before anything happens that I need to worry about. All right, back to the hub. Okay, so the way that you can create, there's two ways that you can create a team, a campaign that will put you on the team properly right now. There's the way that you can do it on your own, and then there's a way a team owner can help make it much easier. So I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't wind up on the team that you were trying to be on, and then I'm going to show you how a team owner right now should probably handle it, because it's going to be so much easier and straightforward. And that's actually what Tiltify gave me a link to help me, but they didn't even tell me that I had access to that link. So I found that out on my own. So, in this hub, you'll see your campaign, your team. You can click on that. Even though I'm not the team owner, I can see all of the things related to my team here, right? So I'm now in the team page. And then if you go to campaigns, if that team has a live campaign, you'll see it here, which you can see that our campaign is live because we're getting ready to fundraise. So if I click on this campaign, I should be able to, since I'm on the team, be able to create a team campaign or an individual campaign that goes to this campaign. And that's down here, right here. Create your individual campaign. When I click this button, it automatically does all this. We're back in that screen, that beaker screen I was before, but whereas before I couldn't search for my team, now it's already here, done for me. So from here, it's the same thing. I'm hitting the blue button. I'm hitting quick start. I'm doing both. I'm live streaming. And now I've created another campaign, which I'm also going to do because I want to show you. Now that I've created this new campaign, when I go to setup, information, now I can confirm I'm raising for St. Jude. I'm taking part of St. Jude Play Live, the big event, and I'm on Team Moco Loco. So if you have to be on the team to do this. If you're on the team, it will work this way. And that's how you can get and create your campaign. It's not intuitive. It's very confusing. And that's why I'm going over it, because it literally changed last week and caused us and like about a dozen people a headache, because people were telling me that it wasn't working, and I couldn't understand why, because I was live doing our regular stream after I had just given all the information on how to do it, and it worked that morning. Now, if you're a team owner, you can make this a lot easier for your community. So I'm here now. I'm on Moco Made, which is obviously our account. So if you go to your hub, we're in our hub, and then I go to our team. You can do up here where you have your view team campaign, QR code, campaign link, this button right here, copy help fundraise link. That is the link that, if provided to a team member, to someone who's already on your team, will set them up automatically. So if I go back here and I do a new tab and I paste that link I just copied, boom, So if you're a team lead and you're rallying people to the cause and you've created a team, give people this link. It will make your life so much easier while they sift through the issues that they've caused with this new update. That's what Tiltify gave me, and ever since I've had that link, it's been smooth sailing as far as doing that. One other thing that I haven't mentioned as far as fundraising is concerned, I'm going to go back to the hub here on Moco, is auctions. Auctions are a brand new thing. I believe they're like a year and a half old, so not very old. We've actually spoken directly to Tiltify about some things we're looking for them to do with the auctions, and because I think that they can really do really improve it, and it's new, and that makes a lot of sense. That there should be things that can be done to improve it. If you're going, the one thing I want to tell you is about auctions is if you're going to start an auction, make sure that and you've never done one before, make sure that you start the auction process at least 2 weeks before your event. With auctions, because let's face it, it's the internet and people can do fraudulent things. They verify you. They ask for your information. They ask for an idea of what you're looking to put on the auction, and they verify what you say, because they don't want people starting an auction that's fraud in the name of charity. So they do that and they monitor it. And once you've had a successful auction, you have access to the auction feature without needing to do that anymore. But I'd hate for someone to think they're going to have an auction and it's a few days before their event and they're going to set up their auction and now they need 2 weeks to be verified. So if you're doing an auction and you've never done one before, make sure that you go apply. And if I go back to my alt account, I should be able to show this to you. So let me go back there and go to the hub. See, so I have to create an auction house request. And when I do that, it's going to ask for my name, email, phone, address, and then it's even going to ask for your ID. And it's going to ask you to describe the auction, some of the items in the auction. So it's legit. They are genuinely making sure they identify who you are and your intentions, as they should. When you set up an auction, which I should be able to show you our auctions here. If I go in here, because this is actually, I'm going to go to our one from last year. This is our auction from last year. In the setup, you have a goal. You can set a time period that someone has to pay. Default on Tiltify is 1 day, and then you can decide what happens after that. Automate fallback bids means when it's not complete in 1 day, it goes to the next highest bidder. You don't have to handle it that way. You can change it to you can unclick that, and then it'll be up to you to determine what happens if something falls through, for whatever reason that might happen. I didn't realize that we haven't retired this auction house. That's something I should have done a long time ago, because this auction finished a long time ago. But that's why I guess I could still come in here. So if you go to auction items, you can create an auction item. I can still create an auction item under this, which is interesting because it ended so long ago. But I wonder, I guess maybe it's just people can just kind of add items at whatever time they want. So you get a chance to add the item. You got a start and end date. You can put a starting bid on it if you'd like, and you can put a fair market value. And then you can decide, is it physical, is it digital? You could put a full description, 4 pictures. Little note on that, they require them to be square. I've actually spoken to them when we went to the St. Jude Summit. We asked them about that because that was annoying to deal with. Because it basically required me to edit a whole bunch of photos to make them square, and some of them just weren't good in a square format. A lot of things just aren't good in a square format when you're trying to show off an art item. So unfortunately, that still is the case for now. But I do think that's something that will be changed. And another thing we've been wanting from them, and we're going to push from them, is to have video files, because a lot of times it's hard to show some of these art products in just pictures. Some of them are moving, they color change, they color shift, and it would be better suited with a video. So those are things that a couple of things we're looking to have them add. And one other thing that we really have been pushing for, and something that they've told us that they're taking to their team, is an auction only goes under one person. So since we've made this auction, it's going under us. It's going under Moco Made. Even though Moco Made didn't make all the products, it's going under Moco Made. And that's understandable, because we are making the auction, we're promoting it, we're getting it in front of as many eyes as we can. However, one thing that we told them that would be better is if we could attribute the items to the auction to people who are part of the same team. So if someone who's fundraising for us, fundraising under us, under the team with us, also has an item in our auction, it would be amazing if we could attribute that item specifically, just the one item, to them, so it could help their campaign and boost their campaign. Because all the pieces in our auction are under our auction, and getting the most promotion and visibility from us, and thus the biggest chance to bring in the most money. And it'd be awesome to be able to pay that back to the people participating in the auction by helping boost their campaigns, and by getting their individual item to count towards their campaign. So that's another thing that we've been asking for. And like I said, the auction is brand new. So there's a lot that can be done, and a lot of things that I think will be done in the next year or two that will make this significantly better. So you can see we have our new auction here that we haven't done anything with. And I think that's a basic rundown of everything you need to know to set up a campaign, set it up to a team, and get to fundraising, and everything you might need, and any tools you might need to do so. I guess the one other thing I didn't show you is how to invite someone to a team. So if I go to my team and I go to my team profile, actually, hold on. I go to my team and I click on the team here. This took me straight to the team campaign. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. I did want the team profile. So under the team profile, this is how you can invite people to your team. So under the team profile, it's pretty simple. What's the team name? What is, some of the information. I have our website, I have our Twitch, and I have, our Discord. If you go, hold on. I need to turn the camera off for a second, but make sure I don't do something. Okay. I can't show you this screen in a way that doesn't dox emails of people who are already on our team. But if you go to this members tab, there is a blue link button that says copy. It says copy team invite, and when you copy that link, anyone you send it to, it can click it and be quote unquote invited to the team. They'll get sent to his page that says to accept, and once they accept, they have access to be able to join your team campaigns and everything that comes with that. I don't want to click on that and show that on screen when I'm not prepared to hide a portion of my screen, because it does have people's emails in there, because the emails are what's attached to your Tiltify account. That's the one thing I didn't show. creating a team is really simple. Like I said, you're basically telling people what's your name, where can people find you, and then you can start inviting people to get a list of things. And the cool thing about these the teams, and this is something I didn't fully realize last year, is that you can be a part of a huge event like St. Jude Play Live, but also be a part of a team like Moco Loco, and do your own personal fundraising. So you're doing your own personal fundraising, you're contributing to a team of your friends that are all within your network, and contributing to a massive event like St. Jude Play Live that raised, I think, over $2.8 million this year during challenge season. So you're contributing yourself at the smallest level, your team at your local, your network, your community, and then at the community at large that's supporting the fundraiser that inspired you, and that you're passionate about. And you can do all three of those things at once without having to to sacrifice anything, or to say I can't be on your team because I want to support the event, or I can't support the event because I want to be on your team. Yeah, and I think that's basic rundown of anything you need, the nitty gritty of getting set up without getting too far into the technical part of it. As always, you can always ask questions live on our stream, at Moco Made. We're live every single weekday, 12 or 10 to 4 Eastern time. Oh, I forgot our schedule. It's been a while since we were 12 to 6. We're 10 to 4 Eastern time. You can always come in there and ask questions at any time. We're an open book. Our DMs are always open. Discord, obviously, is always a thing. And I hope that this helps, and I hope that this inspires a lot of new content creators, or new to fundraising content creators, to get out there and fundraise. Remember that every bit counts. It's not a competition when it comes to charity. It's okay if you don't meet your goals. If you raised any amount of money, if you made anyone aware of the cause that wasn't aware before, or of what's going on, then you've succeeded as a fundraiser. Like, there is no such thing as failing in fundraising. And I think people, they see people raise a whole bunch of money and they get intimidated because they don't know that they can do that. One, you can do that, and two, it all matters, and we're all doing the same thing, and we all passionate about the same thing. And we might not be fundraising for the same causes all the time, but the passion is there to do good for good organizations that need the help. And if you're doing anything towards that goal, then you are succeeding. So keep your head up. Think about what you could do to improve the next time, but don't ever think like you failed, that you failed as a fundraiser. And remember that you're doing amazing work no matter what. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope it helped. Bye.